loves this one. When you are at, I want to say 70%, your maximum. The lower your intensity, the higher the percentage of body fat you're using.
Wait, say that one more time.
I am. I'm definitely going to say that again. I'm going to let this one sink in. The lower your intensity, the higher the percentage of body fat you're burning. Right now, all of you are burning 99.9% body fat. You guys are fat burning machines right now. Right now. We're all burning body fat. And then a tiny trickle of glucose for your brain. Your brain needs glucose. That's it. Right now, we're not doing any serious training. Your muscles need glucose. But just to sit here, we don't need it. So this is where that famous phrase comes in, the fat burning zone. Anybody hear that before?
It's on a treadmill.
Yeah, it's on every piece. It's on every piece of corporate exercise equipment. Right? Because they're too stupid, they don't know what they're talking about. Okay? So they're going to say, oh, the fat burning zone. Because if I work out below 85%, definitely below 85, but 70% and maybe 60, because we want to get some exercise. We don't want the dude sitting there on the treadmill doing like this. So we're going to do some exercise, but it's just going to be some exercise. We don't want it to go too high, because then we're going to get out of the fat burning zone. That's the fat burning zone. 60 to, I think it's 70%. Actually, it's 0 to 70%. Right now, you're all fat-burning machines. Couch potatoes, they're fat-burning machines. Sitting in your car, driving to work, computer, fat-burning zone. Okay? So here's the part that they don't, it's true. It's 100% true. So when they say, if you work out too hard, you're not going to burn fat, that's actually true. What they didn't tell you is that in this fat burning zone, even, see, below it's below 70% of, when I say 70% of your maximum ability, maximum capacity. Below 70%, you're like at 80, 90% burning fat. Once you start going over, I can't remember the exact number, but it's like middle, high, like 60% your maximum, you start switching over to carbohydrates. If we go on a nice slow jog, that you've always heard me yell at you for and never do, why are you talking and running? Unless you're an elite athlete, maybe Max, you can talk. You want? You can give me a call while you're not on a run. Okay? You shouldn't be talking while you're running. That's just wasting your capacity. Because I think we need to speed you up a little bit. So once you go over that, you start switching over to carbohydrates. But what they don't tell you is if you're in this fat burning zone, the amount of fat that you're burning is so tiny, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. So if we wanted to raise, let's just say like $2,000 for the Wounded Warrior Project for our charity event that's going on in a couple of weeks, if we wanted to raise $2,000, and then Anissa came over and said, hey, here's a quarter, Paul. Be like, hey, Anissa, thanks for the quarter. Our goal was $2,000, you know, quarter, I guess. She's like, well, here's another penny. Okay, 26 cents. I was like, yeah, our goal was really $2,000, but okay. So that's where we're at with the fat burning zone. You can stay in the fat burning zone all you want. You ain't gonna get anywhere. So now we go back to intensity. And then we go back to fasted cardio. And we're gonna have to fill in Bianca when she comes out. But I'm going to explain right now fasted cardio and why that doesn't work. So when you are using this higher intensity, I like 85 and up. When you're doing that, you're nowhere near the fat burning. You're not burning any fat. Over 85%, I'm going to be like, Ben, let's go sprint right now. Ben's gonna be like, crush me. I'd be like, I'm not gonna try to catch up. Jason on the Versa Climber or Range It, these guys that set the records on the Versa, I'm like,
There's only one guy that set a record on the Versa.
well, you did have it at one point.
I still do have it, Paul.
Oh, okay. Actually, I think he's true. He's true. He does. Ranger's got, I don't know what Ranger's got. Ranger's got something.
He's close.
Okay.
And 6 behind Jason.
Darren? No, Darren got close too. He didn't beat Jason's. So anyways, this is high intensity. You're 0% body fat. Fuel. But what that's going to do is that's going to affect your metabolism. So your heart rate, sky high, is going to have a residual effect on your metabolism. And now when we get to why the fasted cardio won't work is because over here, we just said over 60, 70%, definitely over 85, you're using glucose primarily. And then a little bit of another one called glycogen. Anyone hear of glycogen before?
It's your liver store.
The liver store and one more.
Mm-hmm.
One more?
Oh, what, the glycogen?
Yeah, one more. Glycogen, it's liver and?
Well, yes. You talking about glucagon?
Nope.
I mean,
There's another spot it's located, glycogen. Another spot, anybody? No? Muscle tissue. Glycogen is stored locally inside your muscle tissue. So you'll use some glycogen with that high intensity, but you'll also use glucose. Glycogen is stored carbohydrate from what you ate the day before. That's why you do need to eat carbs. But glucose is affected by what you've eaten in the last 5 minutes to 2 hours. So when it comes time for pre-workout, I'm like, make sure you have like a piece of fruit. Otherwise, then we get into the problem of what's really happening here. You're like, no, I'm working out hard. So what happens is it will be pretty much impossible for you to get certainly to 90% of your capacity. I'm not talking once, I'm talking repeatedly. Sure, you can just go sprint right now, or you wake up in the morning, house is on fire, you're gonna go run down somewhere, I don't know, like maybe do some burpees or something, Carissa, right? Just because. You can do that 1 or 2 times, but not repetitively with low glucose. So what's gonna happen in your workout, if you're on low glucose, aka fasted cardio, you're just gonna get really, really, really good at being mediocre. So you'll never get to a high level. You'll just be like, man, I'm tired. I must be working out hard. But you'll never crush your performances. You'll just be like sub-performance. And then if you get some extra glucose, those numbers, those performances will go through the roof. So and there's always exceptions too. And there's people on Instagram and YouTube that swear by it. I would never trust anybody with regards to, is that what they're really doing or are they an exception? When I was in the military, I had to work out on an empty stomach all the time. I think I looked pretty good too when I was doing it. Okay, I was still shredded and jacked, but that's not what I wanted. I would have done better. I got used to being able to work out on an empty stomach. My performance was nowhere near what it could have been, but I could do it. So that didn't mean that I got better. It didn't. I trained all the time, using glucose and stuff like that, but sometimes I just had to do it. So just because someone's doing it doesn't mean that you should listen to them and follow them. So I just wanted to make sure I pointed that out. Yes?
So I understand about the performance part of it. What about the body fat, losing body fat?
So that goes back to what we were discussing earlier about metabolism. And then did you hear me talk about the fat burning zone not really being a legitimate, real thing? Not too much?
Is that the very beginning?
Well, I was saying the fat burning zone doesn't really help you burn fat. And then, so with losing body fat, the only real effective way to get leaner is raising your metabolism. Just like there's no spot reduction, or like, hey, I got this love handle, let me do 1,200 side crunches, to lose this love handle right here. That's not gonna work. Okay, to lose your love handle here, go and run. Go and get on a sled and sprint the sled 20 times, or go to the track and sprint the straightaways and walk the curves. Or go get on a rower with Morgan and do some rowing and then go and throw up and die. That's pretty much accurate. So that's how you'll lose body fat, is by raising your metabolism. And the way you raise your metabolism is a dual hard training and anti-catabolic diet. Does that help?
And the 4 hours.
The 4 hours is a good rule of thumb. You get a day, it's a bad day, you go 5, it's like call me in a panic and be like, I'm wasting away, what am I gonna do? But,
So I don't know if that's
Every
like
2?
bad.
yeah, I mean, that's a little high. I mean, yeah, 2 is high. Are you eating, is that protein every 2 hours?
Yeah.
Okay, I'd probably want to talk to you a little bit more independently on that. But,
Well, and it's not, I mean, it's like 2 snacks. Or
yeah.
I guess.
That could
I eat
work.
4 times. It's three good meals and then 1 snack.
Yeah, that could work. Yeah, that could work. But anybody else on some other questions? Because I'm going to roll out some food for you guys and I'm going to explain what all the food is. Yeah.
Like, what's the ratio of carbs to protein?
That's a great question, and I only have a half answer for you. I'm not going to pretend like I am an expert. I'm a pretty good guy in knowledge on training. I got some good nutrition knowledge. What I try to do is if you're training hard, then I try to keep my carbs at about the same level as my proteins.
Okay. And
So,
is there a time? Because remember, you mentioned no carbs before bed, and I try to do the same
yes,
thing.
yes. So I don't do carbs before bed because carbs, and I don't really get too strict on this. But yeah, if you're certainly high glycemic, rice, breads, pizza before you go to bed, really wouldn't be a smart move at all. But you know, if you're going to have some other carbs with some veggies, you know, getting close to nighttime, you know, not really a big deal. Certainly veggies are great at night, but if it's late at night, you're about to crash in like 10, 20 minutes, probably just try to keep it to protein with a little bit of dietary fat. Yeah. Yes.
What are your thoughts on like carbo loading, like the day before?
Carbo loading is also a great question. I'll answer that real briefly for you as well. Carbo loading only has a very, very small benefit, and that is for really high endurance. We're talking 2 hours endurance events. Not really strength event either. We're talking endurance event.
Like
And the way you carb load is you first do a
That's
carb
what I do.
deficit for about 3 days. And then 18 hours before, you load up on carbs. If you've been doing carbs all week, and then you go to carb load, all you're doing is adding body fat. But if you've carb depleted your glycogen, if you've gotten rid of all your glycogen, and then carb load the night before, if it's going to be a big cardio event, then you'll have some extra benefit. But it's pretty narrow. Does that help?
Yeah, and then like would you probably want to do like only complex carbs? for the day?
Yeah,
okay.
complex for sure,
Yeah,
yes.
not
Yeah.
going to Olive Garden.
Yeah, not going to Olive Garden.
Darn.
Right.
Cheating.
All right, any other questions before I roll out all of my food? Because I've got some great things I want to show you. Jason, go
More
for
of
it.
a
Go.
comment. I feel like, you know, you're always preaching us building muscle, us building muscle, us building muscle, right? And I feel that, well, I know that the more muscle we have, the more calories we're going to burn at rest, right?
Yeah.
So to put it in perspective, like 10 pounds of muscle is going to burn 60 calories while you rest.
Right.
Your 10 pounds of fat is going to burn 20 calories while you
Exactly.
rest, right? So I think that's why, you know, we talk about getting leaner and building more muscle. It's going to help us out with the overall, you know, weight loss goals as well.
Exactly.
Oh.
Yeah.
So in essence, you're not measuring weight.
Me? Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm saying
Because I used to be like
Muscle,
300
yeah.
pounds, so.
what you're saying, you're gonna be adding on muscle weight,
Like
not.
what weight?
Correct, yeah, so, you know, I'll end up weighing more, and that's why a lot of times when people come to work out with Paul, I hear it all the time, right? So, I used to train with Paul really heavy a couple years ago, and so those of you that just kind of see me showing up now, it's just getting back into it again. ankles, babies, excuses, just to be
Blah,
honest.
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. So with
Nobody
that being
cares.
said, yeah. So, you know, I hear it all the time when people start to work out here, they start to build muscle and they start to gain weight and then they freak out. They're like, oh my God, I'm gaining weight, Paul, I'm gaining weight. It's like, give it time because sure enough, that course is gonna reverse, right? You're gonna build muscle initially, but then you're gonna start to lose that body weight. So it's, yeah, I mean, totally up to you. If you wanna feel better in clothes or whatever the case may be, Max is not really worried about feeling better in clothes. But like, you know,
I'm getting called out on
me,
that.
like, right, like my 34-inch waist pants don't fit as comfortable
it's
as they
the
used to
same
fit,
size.
right? So as I'm working out more now,
I feel good.
that's gonna change.
Yeah.
But
All right,
yeah,
any other questions? I got some exciting food, so you guys, Anissa, can you help me out bring over some of our stuff? So check it out, guys. First of all, yeah, bring out the things, the dish in the fridge for me, Anissa. The avocado
No, he
dish.
doesn't have to worry about it. He doesn't have to worry about like fitting in the pants.
Oh no, I meant the tuna.
When was the last time you worried about fitting in the
All right, guys, so check it out. So we're gonna go over a few things here, food-wise, okay? So, come on up. I mean, this is just like meal prep stuff that's super easy and actually tasty. So, first of all, I've got a couple of tuna fish dishes. I want you guys to all sample. Grab a plate, and I don't care if you say I hate tuna. Everyone grab a plate and a spoon.
Really?
Plate and a spoon.
Right after the workout. Right after
And as you go, you can take a piece of chicken with you too.
I still don't like avocado.
Yes.
But when it's in certain things.
Hey, Nisha, can I get a knife, please?
Everyone go first. And we can take all the rest. Well, at least ladies first. Oh yeah.
I'm gonna give you a bite of this here too.
I'll blend it.
Yeah, it's a piece of chicken. I mean, it's a piece of turkey.
Hey, all the people that work at it, mine.
What was this name? Yeah. Is it hot? No. It's a pumpkin seed bar. So yeah, take it. They're pre-made, so we sell them. Yep. That is another snack bar. It's a keto bar. So, I'm not sure. So, being safe side, we're looking for that. Salmon, have a bite. Right here.
Who's like, I'm only gonna go for 1 hour.
Yes, there's tuna. Yeah, try it. It is. You want a big piece? Yep. No, that one. Yeah, yeah. That's right.
I eat it plain
Yeah,
though.
bring avocado on it.
I will too, yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, probably not. I'm good at having
Hey,
yeah, you might.
Ben, can you grab my phone and bring it over? Sure.
Where's it at?
It's on the
Ben,
tripod.
it's over on the tripod. Yeah, because we're on Facebook Live right now. Yes, really good. Avocado and onions. This is actually beef. This is a grass-fed bison.
He's all, no, I don't care. You do.
Definitely have this for me. Yeah, can you just cut these for food? Yeah. Local aminos we're going to talk about later. I promise. We're going to talk about that later. And we're coming up with that too. Okay. Yeah, it was really good. Avocado. Oh, and cinnamon. Yes, and that's my cheese.
Yeah, that looks like turkey.
Yes, just like that. Yep.
Oh, I love those. Those would be, yeah, it's like that.
Salmon, it's good. Try it. Okay, just trust me. All right, come on over here. Put your plate right here.